Bloomberg Audio Studios.
Podcasts, radio, news.
Here to talk to you about your backup plan is the CEO of Generac, Aaron Jagdfeld. Aaron, I thought it was great that you were coming on the same day that Microsoft was reaching for a big power supply solution. In terms of the weather warnings, though, they seem to be increasing. We're losing power more and more often in Westchester. Do you see your sales actually kind of rising in line with climate change?
We see our sales rising in line with lower power quality, Matt, which, obviously it's clear the science says, air temperatures are warmer, water temperatures are warmer. This is causing more severe weather, hotter droughts and heat waves and colder cold snaps, more rain, stronger hurricanes. These are the trends we've been witnessing over the last couple of decades. And, you put on top of that, then the stress that the grid is under. And, you've got companies like the Microsoft announcement this morning with 3 Mile Island. Companies are forced to try and find new power sources because the grid is, it's stressed right now.
Do you have more sales in those states? I mean, we're always doing stories on Texas with power outages because their grid is so fragmented and fragile. Do you see more sales in states like that?
Yeah, nationally, we're about 6% of single-family homes have a permanently installed home standby generator. Texas, actually, it's been a good state for us as of late in terms of demand. But some of our best states are not the states you might think of. Places like Michigan, where you've got pretty severe winter weather as well as severe summer weather. Ohio, Connecticut, you mentioned Westchester. Some of these states actually have higher rates of penetration of the product because they experience those multiple seasons.
We're showing the video of, these portable generators that are gas or diesel powered. What I want for Westchester is the big built-in. They're like these portable ones you can get for less than $1,000, right? But the big daddies are like 30 grand.
Right, they're expensive, right? I mean, Aaron, at the end of the day, we have gone through a period of, very stifling inflation. Have people kind of put off this purchase? Is this something that you find that there is kind of a hurdle here for many Americans to buy in for a new home?
There's no question. I mean, this is a home improvement project, right? So how you feel about your home financially, kind of where you're at, if you're locked into a mortgage that's a low rate today, but you want to move in the future, you're probably not doing big projects in your home today until rates come down. But we are seeing, again, when outages happen, so the product retails for around $5,000 to $6,000, and then it's another $5,000 to $6,000 to install it. So $10,000 to $12,000. It's definitely an expensive product when you talk about the overall cost. But these are fully automatic. They run off of the home's fuel system, and it's protection for your home, protection for your family. A lot of people are working from home now, right? So it can protect your livelihood as well. So we're just seeing these trends continue, and the product has become very popular. What
about businesses? When I was thinking about having you on this morning, I thought about a power outage at a hospital, for example, can be life-threatening. Do you have sales at big businesses or institutions like hospitals?
We do. Yeah, we have a whole division of our company that focuses on much larger generators for, exactly as you said, Matt, hospitals. They're focused on data centers, manufacturing plants, distribution, government installations like wastewater treatment plants, some of the critical infrastructure. We're big in the telecommunications industry. So if you see the wireless cell towers along the highway or along I-95, a lot of those are going to be backed up by our generators. And anywhere there's critical infrastructure where, a power loss would cause significant damage or disruption to a business or to infrastructure.
How big do your single site contracts get? I mean, if I'm on the one end of the spectrum, right, I can go to, I guess, Home Depot and pick up a generator for a few $100. What's the biggest single site number that you've seen?
Yeah, I mean, you get into some of these hyperscale data centers, the Amazons, the Netflixes, and the Microsofts of the world. You're seeing some of these generator farms are upwards, to put it in context, they're sometimes 20, 30 megawatts of power. I mean, these are, again, this is why Microsoft's got a contract with a nuclear power plant, a defunct nuclear power plant, to bring it back online, because the amount of power needed for a single site is so dramatic. Now that's out on the far edge of the spectrum of use cases. A lot of times you're going to see for a typical grocery grocery store or perhaps a manufacturing plant, maybe a couple megawatts of power to keep those installations running, which is, that's still a lot of power, but it's not nearly the size that you'd see in some of these bigger installations with the data centers today.
Aaron, we're getting questions from viewers as well. One being is, do you ever try to work with local electric companies to lower the cost for consumers?
Yeah, for us, we have programs with, especially when you talk about rural cooperatives where, the ratepayers themselves are part of, solving for what they pay for their local utility. It's a little bit tougher when you get into bigger, some of the bigger power networks and some of the bigger utilities. But definitely on the smaller utility side, we've put programs together in the past. I think that one of the things that, people are very concerned about, and this is going to be coming, it's not just that power quality is becoming more challenging with the storms and some of the grid stress, but power prices are going up, right? So just what we pay every day for our electrical prices, that's rising. I mean, you've seen almost a doubling of power prices in some parts of the country over the last 10 years, and the forecast is for another doubling. So you're seeing people take the, kind of take the situation into their own hands, whether it's backing up their home or their business, or it's doing something to produce their own power like solar or wind or something like that.
Aaron, one thing I've been wondering a lot about is the stress on power grids across this country and what that means, that we talked a little bit about climate change, but also as the needs for power increase so meaningfully with this, let's say, AI revolution. You were talking about rising power costs. I mean, would the cost of your products also rise meaningfully in the next couple of years also, given that stress and given these outages that we've seen? I mean, I've lost power in my home twice this season already.
Yeah, I mean, our products.
I just moved in.
Yeah, I mean, our product costs have gone up like everybody, kind of with inflation here over the last few years. It's been tough. Things have leveled off now, but I think what I think homeowners and what business owners are very concerned about is where do their overall utility costs go in the future? We're investing very heavily in decarbonizing the grid, right, on the supply side, which is great. We're adding a lot of utility scale solar, a lot of utility scale wind in favor of some of the gas plants and some of the coal plants that have been traditional sources for power. And then on the demand side, you kind of hit the nail on the head, Sonali. We're electrifying everything. Like we're electrifying things in our homes. We're electrifying things in our business. We're just at the beginning of the electrification trends in transportation. And now you've got this whole artificial intelligence, a demand cycle here, which is driving huge construction of new data centers. And that's going to put a lot of stress on the grid as well. So power prices are going up as a result. I think our products, by and large, get used for resiliency. So for, those times when power's out. But I think the need for that, as the grid becomes under more stress going forward, we think that need's going to grow because we think power quality, I mean, the data is very clear. Over the last 20 to 30 years, power quality has gotten worse in the U.S.
Well, Aaron, to your last couple of points, I mean, the rising cost of power and, the green side of things, Microsoft is looking to nuclear because it's carbon free. You relaunched your solar and storage business, and Bloomberg Intelligence is focused on that and your EV charger partnership with Wallbox and Ecobee. How optimistic are you for this business, and does it matter who gets elected?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, obviously, I think it matters for a lot of us on a lot of points on who gets elected, right? And when it comes to power, of course, and power quality and the cost of power, I think from a bipartisan standpoint, we all agree on we want better power quality and we want to pay less for our power. So I think those things are agreeable points for the most part. How we get there is maybe where the details are different. But I do think that with our business, when it comes to some of our solar products, our battery storage products, you mentioned our EV charging products, Matt. This is about the future and trying to help homeowners reduce the cost of their power, right? By self-production, either on the rooftop with solar, but also having some amount of storage and the ability then to control kind of how those systems work together with your HVAC, your EV charging, all of those systems together to make sure we're maximizing your ability to have resiliency, but also to reduce the amount of power you use and consume.
Such a cool business. For the dad in me loves it, but Sonali loves it too. So
I do. I want a generator before I buy other cool things.
Very cool. Aaron, thanks so much for joining us. Aaron Jagdfeld there, the CEO of Generac.